Welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways, Coyote in the Highlands. We're going to do a little talk really quick about one of our Jackeries. So I have a Jackery 240, that's this one right here, and there's a 1500 which is currently running the freezer for the homestead, and that's pretty cool. That one actually we'll talk about more in depth later. This is the 240. This is not the smallest, but it's one of the smaller Jackery portable power banks. There's a smaller one I wouldn't even bother with, honestly, unless you just want to have a backup cell phone charger. Let's talk about the 240 for a little bit and why I wish I'd gotten the 500 or something a little bit bigger as the small portable one, because the 500 is not that much bigger and the 240 has some limits. It is a great functioning battery bank for what it is. Let me just absolutely say that first and foremost. For what it is, for what it's intended to do, it's fantastic. So you'll see there's some lights there. The USB is still on, the AC is powered on, and there's a 12-volt plug up there that's not powered on. Okay, the AC is on right now because I'm using it to basically make a solar bridge for running my laptop while I upload some of the other videos. So the laptop's over here, and it is currently running, plugged into the 240, the Jackery here, which is plugged into a 100-watt Jackery solar panel. Okay, that's outside. Solar panels are very worth it. They actually advertise their wattage pretty correctly. This will only, the charge controller that's built into this box will only do a nominal 65, so 67, 69 watts in. So if you plug a 100-watt panel in, it's not going to do anything. Jackery does make 60-watt panels, which also will work just fine for this. I have a couple of 100-watt panels because of the 1500, so that's what we've got. So USB works fine. It does not have the turbo mode like the 1500 does for the Qualcomm turbocharge. Different phones will actually use that. But, you know, it runs 2.4 amps, 5 volts, it's fine. You've got a 200-watt inverter for the AC. 200 watt, that's very little. It is adequate for laptops and not anything else. Okay? It will not put out enough amps on the 12 volt to run a 12 volt, a heavier duty 12 volt air compressor for like doing your tires in your car or something. I usually can run those off a standard 10 amp 12 volt circuit with the lighter socket in a car. I can't do it off the Jackery. This is a small power bank, and it's really limited, or designed to be limited to charging tablets, laptops, Chromebooks more than laptops, and stuff like that. You know, phones, whatever your USB chargers. As far as it goes, I can use this thing for 2 or 3 days charging 4 phones continuous, like just keeping them used, phones that are in use, keeping them topped up, and it'll work just fine. Absolutely fantastic, no problems. All the circuitry, everything that it's designed to do, it does very well. If it was me and I was going to go out and buy one right now, I would probably get the 500, which has a little more wattage on the inverter and just lasts longer. Okay, if I don't have this plugged into solar and I want to charge the laptop. This is a ThinkPad, so this is not a low power laptop. It's a older T570, so it takes, you know, the charger takes 30 watts, 36 watts max, something like that. I can run this thing down in an hour, you know. That's just, it doesn't, not an hour, probably 2 hours. It just doesn't hold up to that level of use. It's not designed to. It does a really good job with phones, again, and tablets and stuff. But all things considered, since I'm not backpacking it, I think I would get something bigger for anything beyond charging phones at the beach or while camping. That's about all I have to say about it. It's been in fairly continuous use for a year, over a year, and the battery is doing just fine. Like the cycles, the lithium-ion battery that's inside it, it's working very well. I wish that we had a, proper quality controlled American manufacturer option. We don't. So this is it. If you like the Blue Owl instead of the Jackery, whatever, I'm not a brand fanatic. I don't see, based on the reviews, or my sister who has one of the blue ones, I've got the orange one, I don't see a lot of difference. I think they both do just fine. I have liked Jackery for a while for some other stuff, smaller power banks and walking around stuff. So, and one of the guys that I listened to, who's a reviewer, mentioned that he does Jackery. He's probably paid for it. So this is what I bought, and it works fine. All of the outlets work. Everything works. 240 watt hours is what they claim. So the Explorer 240. The display is accurate. Everything works. But if you're doing something beyond a Chromebook and tablets or iPad and phones, then you're going to want to go a little bigger. If you want to not tether yourself to the solar panel while you're doing regular use, you also might want to go just a little bigger, just a little more backup in the battery. That's the only difference that I could see. Twice the battery would make a big difference for my lifestyle and my use on the mountain. For traveling and basic camping and just keeping phones charged, this thing is awesome. And that's all I got. Stay sideways.